What's up, everyone? The moment you've all been waiting for. Welcome to my show. What's it called again? Back to Basics? Okay, yeah. With me, your host, Keenan Cornelius. Today, we got a very special show for you. We're going to talk about 3 different things that hold a very dear place to my heart. The first being Jiu-jitsu. The second being the internet. And the third being just some everyday life topics. But before we get into this, I want to pose to you a question. And that question is, how long have you been training? Pause for effect. I ask a lot of people this question, and I get a lot of different answers. I run into a lot of different jiu-jitsu people in my line of work, as you might have guessed, and I get a lot of the entire gambit of answers, whether it's someone trying to tell me that they've been training less time than they actually have to sort of display their talent and skill that they developed in such a more short amount of time, or someone who's maybe trying to pad their resume a little bit with an experienced long-term training time. Let's say you've been training 10 years, but maybe during that time you're just inconsistent and you're on it again and off again. You don't have a set schedule with jiu-jitsu. Work is hectic, injuries, life gets in the way. Are you misleading someone by telling them that you've been training 10 years when really you've only maybe spent 3 or 4 years of consistent training that could count towards your overall training time? On the inverse side of things, we have the competitor, the person who wants to show that they're just extremely talented and they developed this skill over such a minuscule amount of time that they may shorten the actual amount of training time that they have participated in. I actually know people like this, like who I've actually trained with for like 5 years, and every time I ask them, hey man, how long have you been training? They'll be like, 3 years. Like, you said that 2 years ago, man. I trained with you. This is one of those questions that can go either way. And then also there's a situation like, what if you're rolling with someone and maybe you tap them out, and then they ask you, hey man, how long have you been training? And you just tap them out. You tell them, 5 years, whatever. And you ask them, how long have you been training? And they just got tapped out by you. They're probably going to say they've been training less time than they've actually trained, or at least want to say that. Some people also have wrestled before they started training jiu-jitsu. Do you include that in your training? Judo, for instance, wrestling. There's actually a Mongolian judo crew that comes to Worlds every year, and they just kill it at blue belt division. Always. My thoughts on the matter is it should be you have to think about it as if it's calendar time versus mat time. How much hours are you on the mat versus how much time in your life have you known about jiu-jitsu? That's what it really comes down to. So what me and my cohorts have come up with, my comrades in this video series, is that the only fair way to disclose your training history is to either be so thorough in every day off and every injury you've had, every time that you've been training full-time for whatever course of time over the entire timeline of your training period, or just to disclose the start date and whether you're a full-time competitor, full-time training jiu-jitsu practitioner, or a hobbyist and part-time. So yes, how long have you been training? Moving on, should you follow IBJJF rules in training? Now what does that mean? In different gyms, they follow different rules. What if you're training for Nagas, where heel hooks are illegal, neck cranks are illegal? ADCC, for instance, if you're in a submission, you can slam someone. So I guess it really just depends on what you're training for. But the IBJJF, there are no heel hooks allowed in the gi, for instance. It's actually really hard to finish a heel hook in the gi if you've ever tried, because if you just grab the sleeve, it's really easy to defend. But then there's also the issue with the different belt levels. For instance, a blue belt cannot attack toe holds or knee bars. Purple belts too. So do you perform those on higher belts? Can you do a toe hold on a brown belt? Is that rude? I know people who will get mad if a lower belt performs a toe hold on a higher belt. I personally think that they should be allowed to do it because eventually there'll be a brown belt and they need to have practiced those skills. What if no one's training for a tournament in your gym? You're just in a normal gym. Everyone's just training just for fun, just to stay in shape. Who decides what is legal in the training room, what isn't? I've seen gyms where Ezekiels are illegal just because it can damage people's esophagi. I think it comes down just to safety at that point. You don't want to be doing heel hooks, not because they're illegal in IBJJF, but just because it's a dangerous move. And that if you're an experienced jiu-jitsu player, you know the moves that are dangerous and the moves that aren't. So in general, if you're trying to be safe, following the IBJJF rule format is probably a good idea. Okay, so moving on. We're getting into the good stuff, the internet videos. Now, lately, I've noticed a trend of a lot of viral videos being shared. Every day there's a new viral video. They used to be organic and natural, but now I feel like people have discovered that making fake viral videos is a profitable endeavor. You can monetize your videos now. You get a video that has 1 million hits, you can make upwards of like $100,000 in ad revenue. I'm not sure if it's exactly that much, but you can definitely make money off of a viral video. We have a video here today where a girl is exacting this sort of like vigilante punishment on litter bugs, like people who litter in their car, out of their car as they're driving or something. Now, when I first saw this video, I actually thought it was real. It really doesn't make sense when you look at it. So we're gonna start the video. So the first thing it is a girl sitting on her bike. She's sitting on a bike, she just happens to have a camera going, and she's just staring at this car. Like, why would someone just be staring at a car with their camera going? And then all of a sudden this person just litters out of the car. So that sets the theme of this whole video. Is like, okay, so she goes and she throws it back in the lady's car, and like she's pissed, and then she drives off. Okay, today, you know what? I'm gonna catch a bunch of litter bugs, and that's my thing. So here she is again, another car. Just like, how many people are gonna litter in the same day out of their car? Like, who does that? You don't see it. It's actually a fine. It's like a $1,000 fine to litter out of your car. It's a crime. She's just catching like 20 people in crimes today. This woman is like clairvoyant. She knows when people are gonna litter, and she's like throwing all these things back in the car really aggressively, actually. I never see people litter. Like, the most I'll see is like a cigarette butt out a window, and you'll see it spark across the highway. So it's so rare, but for this to be happening, I think it's pretty ridiculous. It could be real, but it probably isn't. Basically, this woman has dedicated her life to chasing down litter bugs, and over the course of years, she has captured 4 moments and thrown the litter back in their car. Or she's psychic and did it all in one day. Or it's fake, which it probably is fake. Right? Can we all agree on that? And there's another video that I want to talk about. This one was this kind of an old video. It may have been out for a little bit now, but when it first came out, it was spreading all over Facebook. People were messaging me like, hey, have you seen this video of the kid getting chased by the bear? And at first glance, like, I think the thing is, no one watches these videos twice. We live in a culture where it's like such instant gratification. It's like, oh, this video, and just move one after the other so quickly that you don't really take time to see if the video is real or fake. It's pretty clear that this is a CGI bear, and a guy's getting chased by a CGI bear. Because if you pause it, you can see that it's almost like a pixelated cutout of his bear that he put into the video. So it's pretty clearly fake. But I guess all we're really encouraging you to do here is just to watch these videos twice, right? Seeing if they're real or not before you go sharing them. Is there anything wrong with it, with us thinking that it's real? By sharing these videos, you're doing a disservice to yourself and others, making people think that things that are not true are true. What if now, because you saw that video, you're getting chased by a bear and you're on a bike and you think you can get away on a bike, when maybe there's other ways that you should deal with a bear chasing you? Probably not riding a bike. By sharing these videos, you could put someone's life in danger. It's like, what's going to happen if you see someone litter and you go and you throw their hot Starbucks coffee back in their face while they're driving? Like, that could, like, easily, there's a lot of problems that could come from that. There's a problem with people talking shit on the internet, and this holds a close place to my heart because I've been in this situation before. This next video, we have a rapper who's compiled a list of YouTube usernames and is tracking them down by their IP addresses to beat them up with a baseball bat. As you can see, the video's here. Here. So in this video, there's a YouTube rapper, someone who's posting his raps on YouTube, and someone's talking crap about his raps, and has his hit list, as he shows in the video. It's a piece of paper with his IP addresses, and he claims that people don't know that you can track their IP addresses by their YouTube comments. And contrary to the popular video of MoonFox34 and I, and our conflict we've had, you can't actually just track someone's IP address really easily by looking at their account. You have to have pretty advanced hacking skills if you're going to do that. And in this video, there's a lot of flaws with it. Like, why is the lady telling him to leave, and as he leaves, she follows him with the camera to like, oh, you need to leave now. You're going to leave, and I'm going to follow you as you leave and continue filming you. It's just, the whole video is kind of silly. But I think most people can see that there's kind of a fake vibe to this one. But for anyone who's still in the dark, I proclaim this video fake. Fake stamp. All right, so the point of these internet videos we cover on this show, take a second to think about what these videos mean, what they're portraying, what their goal is before you actually just go and share it with the world. So there's harmless internet videos as well, harmless viral videos like the fake hoverboard video. And later they revealed that it was a gag, which is just a fun, harmless gag. Post responsibly. In closing, I hope this video has stimulated some sort of intellectual thought. If you have any opinions on any of the stuff we've talked about, I would love to hear it. And keep in mind, when things get crazy in life, jiu-jitsu, or anything, just bring it back to basics.